Okay. Let's do this. A little late in the day, but sometimes you're just tired. Okay, remove subfolders from the sub file system. Produced in it, I guess. Given a list of folders, return the folders after removing all subfolders in those folders. Remove the answer in any order. If a folder at I is located from another folder at J, it's called a subfolder. Give a list of folders. Remove the folders after removing all subfolders from removing all subfolders in those folders. Subfolder J must start with folder J followed by a slash. For example, /A/B is a subfolder of A. The /B is not a subfolder of /A/B/C. Format path. The format of a path is one or more concatenated strings of the form slash followed by one or more lowercase English letters. For example, /Leetcode and /Leetcode/problems are valid paths, while empty string and a slash are not. Okay, so you have folder /A//B/C/D/C/D and /C/D/E and /C/F. So we're moving all subfolders. So /A/B is a subfolder /A, and /C/D/E is a subfolder /C/D. So you remove those and you're left with /C/F. I guess if there was a /C, then the /C/D and /C/F would be subfolders of that. Okay. So so this is the primary, and this one being primary, kind of folder A is primary, so BC would be subfolders of A, and BD is subfolders of A. Okay, I think I understand. So /B/C. Okay, so this one is not, so it could be a name that's a substring of another name, but it doesn't make it a subfolder. So here, ABCA is not a subfolder of ABC because this is just a different name of the kind of last folder of the innermost folder. Okay. Let me think. What is the best data structure for this? Could make some form of node data structure, maybe. ABC. If I make a node data structure, then I would traverse the node data structure whenever I see another entry in the list. Traverse the node data structure whenever I see another entry in the list. I think it makes sense to sort it. Sorting it always work to group things that are possibly adjacent, possibly subfolder adjacent. I think so. I think so. It's not originally sorted, right? Yeah. Okay, so folder sort. So any subfolder of a particular folder would follow immediately after it. And if it doesn't, then I don't think it's possible that it's a subfolder. Actually, does, let me double check one thing. I guess I'm wondering if, like, when you sort it, does /CA come before /C/? So if there was another letter here, what the order of it would be. Let's say I have /A /A/B and /AA, and maybe another /A/C for variance. Do okay. The slash comes before the extra A. So I think this does sort, and it does kind of work well I want it to. So if you have a directory that isn't kind of preceded by anything, so you can assume that's a root, you can use the next one as a possible subfolder. If it is a subfolder, then you can remove it from the consideration. So these are all subfolders of this one. So I think I could use maybe like a stack here. And if you encounter something that isn't a subfolder of the thing prior to it, then the thing prior to it becomes like a folder that you want to return. And this thing would be the next considered subfolder, or the next considered root folder. Okay, so let's go and try to do that, I guess. So I think I want to say stack, or this could be the answer really. I guess I don't need to, I can just pop off stuff that I don't need and keep things that would be part of the answer. This doesn't have to be part of the same order, does it? After removing all subfolders, you may return it in any order. Okay. There's ways that you could have done it without, while keeping the order while still doing this. This is a lot easier. It doesn't have to be the same order as the original. Actually, in that case, maybe I can just wonder if they care about me messing with the actual initial folder list. I guess I could actually do it with, can I do it with the original folder list? Like in place sort and then remove entry from that? Probably not, or it probably wouldn't be easier. Yeah. Okay. So for every I guess answer should needs to start with the initial folder. So the first folder in the folder list. It should really be plural folders rather than folder. For every let's say k in range. Do I want to do a splice or do I want to just do a? Yeah, I'll probably do an index here. Let's say n is the length of the folders for every index in range of 1 to n plus 1, range 1 to n. I want to start with the second one. Actually, maybe I can just start, maybe I can do, yeah, that's fine actually. Let's say f is equal to folder at this index. And I guess, I'll do a splice here. So in order for it to be a subfolder, the prior thing, the prior, like let's say we're dealing with /a and /abc, this /a would have to be the start second thing, and then there had to be a following slash. So I guess I can do first a length check. So check to see if is a subfolder, which is prior folder in answer, is the prefix of current folder, which is and prior folder, actually prior folder plus a slash. How do I say this? Okay, which is if let's say prior, let's say p is prior folder in answer, p slash is the prefix of folder, current folder. See if f is a subfolder. Okay, so I think I can do something like, I really don't want to do construction. Okay, let me do a length check. If the length of the current folder is at least greater than the length of the prior folder, which is going to be full answer, the last entry in the answer, and how do I check for prefixing efficiently? I could do something kind of brute force, like answer the prior folder is equal to f at maybe I need to use find in Python. Find searches for the first occurrence of the specified string. So I could do find of the prefix in the next folder and check to see if that value is 0. then that would search the whole string even if it doesn't find in the first k elements, k characters. So it's not perfect in terms of speed. Let's just do how to check for prefix of string Python. Oh, there's a start with. Wow. Starts with is a method. Okay. So f dot starts with this the last answer is the prefix, and actually yeah, and f at the length. Kind of wanted to create another variable here. K is equal to the length of the previous answer. Okay, the length of f is greater than the length of the previous answer. So I have two elements. The last answer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And f at k, I want to say, is equal to slash. Then this is a subfolder, so continue. Otherwise, it's not subfolder. Add to answer. I think that's it. Okay. Okay. 71.6. Really? Really? Wonder if I mean, sorting it seems by far the fastest. Although I could. Yeah, sorting it seems fastest because if I encountered if I just did it in order, then it would have to go. You have to assume that the first time you see something that it's a root, and then eventually you'd have to maybe come across something that's possibly makes it a subfolder. Like if you first encounter A, B, and then later you just encounter A, then you have to kind of check back. I think if I can find a faster way of doing this. Guess maybe if I didn't have these subvariables. I didn't have these subvariables. I don't know. It's seems pretty good. Sort. Let's remove the k variable, I guess. See how that plays out. So replace the k with just length of answer, previous answer. So remove f, then that seems pretty bad to have to write that whole expression every time. Just removing the k, huh? Okay. There's a way of doing Python syntaxing for the ands here. Say Python coding conventions for spacing, I guess. How do they want you to do ands? Line breaks. If indentation leaves just want to do if statements. Programming recommendations. Oh my god, I guess this should be under line breaks. It's not quite like this. Like an if statement that's too long. How do they want me to do that? Do they want the and before or after the new line break, and how indented should it be? Coding convention for if statement with line break. They want this. Do they want parentheses around shit? Really? Even though it's not necessary? Lining with the opening parentheses. Maybe it is necessary because it needs to know that it's parentheses for implicit line continuation. I see. Okay. Okay, so I guess it has to be like parentheses, and then the and comes at the front end, or at the first line. And then you indent it once, no twice. That looks kind of bad, to be honest. Something like that. Huh, interesting. There's no way I'm going to be able to remember that convention without real use, and I doubt real use for that. Okay. Is that the order of checks that I want? I guess I probably want to do this check before this check because this is a very simple check, and it probably would clear out most of the, or filter out most of the incorrect non-roots versus a prefix check, which might take longer. Yeah, in general, you want to do the fastest checks, or the checks that the fastest checks first. The fastest checks that has a high probability of has a high probability of of a failure if you're doing a kind of if you're trying to quickly evaluate compound and conditionals. So the question is actually maybe do I want to order this as the first condition. I think, no, I don't. There's no way actually, because this could go out of bounds otherwise. I don't think this changes the overall speed. Probably the speeds can go down because of random variation. Yep. Anyway. Okay. In any case. So summary here is going to be so key point to note is that all subfolders of another folder, say F, let's say all subfolders K of another folder F will appear immediately or appear after F with no other root folders in between. But possibly with other, actually, with no other, but and with any, and with no other root folders between, and with and any in-between folders are also subfolders of F. So for example, let's say you have A, or note that, okay, note the key point to note is that all that if folder is sorted, key point to note is that if folder is sorted, all subfolders F, all subfolders K of another, of a root folder, let's say the root folders are, all subfolders K will appear after the root folder with no other root folders between and any in-between folders. As also subfolders of R. Okay, let's read that one time. Key point to note is that if folder is sorted, all subfolders K of the root folder F of the root folder R will appear after R. Will appear kind of closely. Will appear closely after R. And here with no other root folders in between them, and any in between folders, any folders between them are also subfolders as well. Okay, yeah. So for example, if I have /a, if sorted folder is /a /b /a/b/c, the last is a subfolder of A, and second is also a subfolder is also a subfolder of /a. Okay. So it's basically overall algorithm will be sort folder process overall sort folder process in order, add to answer every detected root folder. And here the detection will be if moving on to a folder that is not a prior, is not a root, that is not a subfolder of the prior. The prior has to be a root folder. Actually, let's see. Detection will be if moving on to a folder that is not a subfolder of the prior, the current folder is the root folder and added to the answer. Okay. That is not a subfolder of the last root folder. Okay, so steps would be 1, sort folders, 2, create answer array with first sorted folder as guaranteed to be certain to be a root folder, and then iterate over iterate over remaining folders after the first, whereby on iteration you would check if current folder is a subfolder to the last root folder, and here the check would be check based on length, prefix, prefix being last folder, and the slash being after the prefix, or at appropriate appropriate index. So in particular, it could be something where the last entry is a prefix of the current folder, but it doesn't necessarily just make, that doesn't guarantee that the current folder is a subfolder. There needs to be a slash right after that prefix kind of length. And then if current folder, if subfolder, then skip. Move on to next. If not, add current folder to answer array to be treated as the kind of as the last folder for the next iteration. All right, and then just lastly return the answer. Yeah, so create your answer array, initialize to your first folder, first root folder, iterate over remaining stuff, check to see if it's a subfolder. If it is, skip to the next folder, otherwise append to the answer, and then return the answer. Time complexity is going to be O of n. To iterate over each folder in folder array and compose and construct the answer array appropriately. Actually, let me think about this. I guess there is this check for prefixing stuff. The prefix check is not necessarily constant. It depends on the length of the strings. I guess actually maybe it's like O of n k, where n is length of array and k is length of average prefix, or length of average k is the cost to check for prefixes. Which could be assumed to be constant. So k is 1. But could be a kind of variable if there's a lot of similar folder names of significant length. I think this is maybe getting way into the weeds of the analysis here. Base complexity, this can be O of, actually I think this is just O1, since no extra spaces needed. Answer array is constructed in time and has kind of strictly minimal and is always and does not what's the most I'm trying to say? Does not use a needed space. Like there's never a time where the answers has things that are incorrect. So therefore it's always using spaces that was necessary to be used to store the information. All right.